Hello. Here's your surprise. We're here together. I made it to Arizona. So, welcome to your surprise episode of Healing Hormones and Holy Shit, where your hosts are holy shit together in Arizona. Um, Today, we thought we would cover a topic about change. And why don't you start off, Gina? There's been a lot of changes recently with both of us.
Been a lot of changes. I think this whole entire dynamic of everything within the last year of our lives and even before that has kind of just propelled us into a place where our lives are nothing how we envisioned that they would look
No, not at all.
at all over the past several years.
No, because you've had divorce. I had divorce. You've had your dad move in with you. You've become his sole caretaker over the past few years. Both of us have lost, I know I've lost over 100 pounds. You've lost how much?
Close to 90
Close to 90 pounds.
in less than 8 months.
Yeah. So major transformation there. I moved across the country.
Yeah, I remember you left me.
Yeah, I left you. But here's proof that I can come back and at least temporarily. I wrote a book and published it. I wrote 2 journals and published them. I started my original platform of Phoenix Within Journey. You followed up by now you're writing not one book, but you're now working on your 6th manuscript, 7th manuscript.
Yeah.
You are submitting to agents. I am now, and I don't think I told you this, I am now working on my 8th manuscript. I have other things in the works, which I'm not going to get into with you guys. It's all surprises coming, but Gina knows.
Yeah.
And it's pretty spectacular.
She blew me out of the water.
It's something that none of you will expect.
No, I didn't expect.
She knew I had the talent for it, but
Yeah, wow.
it's nothing that anybody knows that I do or could do or would do. But things keep evolving, things keep changing, health changes, personality changes, transformations within ourselves.
A lot of those.
We both looked inside ourselves and made changes.
That's I think the biggest thing is, and I don't think it necessarily changes for either one of us. I think that yes, that's how it shows on the surface to other people, to those that we encounter. But realistically, we've always known who we are.
Yes.
Our environments never allowed us to be those people.
Right.
And what I mean by that is we've always, as many Gen Xers have been raised and taught, is self-sacrifice is something to be gleaned, to be gone after, sought, the self-martyrdom, do everything for everybody else and then, put yourself last. And we grew up with that dynamic.
Right.
And so now we've stepped into a stage of our lives, whether it had been a stage that we saw coming, we wanted to come, or we were just kind of boot kicked in the ass for and like, hey, sink or swim, you're in the deep end of the pool. You better either have floaties on or you better start treading water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think with both of us, we just had to start treading water.
Yeah. Swim with the sharks, baby.
And it was ugly at first, because with all of our transformation, with everything, it came with that pile of shitty emotion. It came with lots of endings we did not see coming whatsoever. I mean, you had just been on the other side in the whole honeymoon phase. And, my marriage had been honeymoon phase, lots of death, lots of loss within the family, but a honeymoon phase. And, there was just so much vacillation within my relationship that that's just what I came to expect.
Oh, yeah.
And I've come out on the other side. And I was just telling you this earlier. If you would have asked me this time last year, where I would see myself this year, it would have been the same. I mean, we love to hate Facebook memories.
We do.
And of course, yesterday I was reminded this time last year you were sitting on the beach in San Diego with your wife, with your father, eating pizza from a really good little pizza shop at the top of the
Love that pizza.
yeah.
Yep.
No idea, none whatsoever that my entire world would implode in what, 3 months? Yeah. No clue.
No clue it was
I'm, like,
coming.
oblivious. I'm sitting there at my 240-pound self enjoying my pizza.
Mhm.
Not that I don't still enjoy that pizza. It doesn't matter how much you weigh.
That's good pizza.
It's good pizza. I never in my wildest dreams saw what was coming, and then I never could have envisioned my life as it is now because I wouldn't trade it for the fucking world.
Hell no.
I would, and again, like I've said, it doesn't have anything to do with hating my ex-wife or not loving her because I still do. And I'll admit
Right.
that I'm not here to vilify anybody. Regardless of what went on in our relationship, I still love her, just not the her that she actually is.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that. I had to realize that I fell in love with a woman who met me where I was through the course of the relationship, not because she told me to, not because she asked me to, not because it was something spoken. I shrank my personality, my intelligence, my depth, my clarity, my entire being to fit inside of her world. And again, it wasn't something that she directly said, you must fit into this box. It was just something that my instincts over time showed me that, hey, if this is going to work, if this is going to stay together, you have to shrink because she's obviously not going to meet you.
Exactly.
And instead of utilizing my highly intelligent brain, I let my emotions dictate my actions, which ended up harming me,
Right.
but I'm able to look at that and realize it. And so this past, well, since August, since I've been on my own, I've come back into who I was when she met me. And I really like that person. I wish I wouldn't have stuffed her in a box because, being your authentic self is just freeing in and of itself. You don't have to accomplish and acquire great things to be happy.
No, you don't. You have to live in your truth, live in your
Yes.
moment, do what's right for you, fill your cup first.
Yep.
And whatever's left over behind after that, if people don't eat it up, that's okay. You've made those changes for you. And I think
Exactly.
that's especially important for our Gen Xers, people, our followers, our viewers to understand that at our age, these are when these big changes are happening, when these big revelations are happening. We've either become empty nesters or we're becoming empty nesters.
Yep.
Our big challenge of life is kind of calming down. We've raised our kids. We've accomplished our career goals. We've gone through those big things in life and everything's calming down. Everything's quieting down. And we're realizing now we're finding ourselves.
Right. Because we have not had an opportunity until now to do that because we've always identified with, this job, that job, mom,
Yeah, I'm mom. I'm dad. I'm a
somebody's
wife.
spouse.
I'm
Yeah.
somebody's husband.
You
Yeah.
are?
No, I'm saying in general. She's such a smart ass. I love it. But yeah, I'm somebody's partner.
Right.
I'm somebody's parent, or I'm somebody's sister. I'm somebody's brother.
Mhm.
I, you know,
And that's the important thing is and then, at least for myself, and I believe you too, there comes a point where you start questioning all of the identities and labels that have been put on you.
yeah,
Like, is this something that's true about me, or is this something that someone else has projected onto me?
right.
And then you start, at least my brain, starts going through and dissecting each and every facet of my entire being to find what is my truth versus what has been other people's truths regarding me.
Right.
And they very rarely align.
That's true.
They very rarely align. And so, even though we have jobs and we have lives and we have things that keep us occupied, we've also never had so much time to actually sit and think about these things and the things that are important. and what really makes us happy. Because we've been focused on making sure our kids were happy, or our parents were happy, or friends were happy, or spouses were happy. Everybody's happiness, everybody's everything came before our own. And I'm here to literally put two middle fingers up to that and say, fuck that, my time.
That's right.
And that does not equate to me being selfish or a bad person,
No, it doesn't.
because we all need to put ourselves first.
We
We
do.
do.
And that's what you guys got to remember is you have to put yourself first. I've said this on my other podcast and I'll say it here. That sweet little old Southern lady pouring me that glass of tea saying, honey, I couldn't pour you this glass of tea if my pitcher wasn't full.
And that is the honest to God's truth.
It is so true. If
Mhm.
you're not putting yourself first, if you're not taking care of yourself and filling yourself up and taking care of your body and soul, there is no way you can take care of other people.
No, you really can't. I am living fucking proof of that.
Yeah.
I drained myself so much, and my pitcher was so brittle from the sun.
Yeah.
Because and we talked about this as well. I was expecting people who did not have the capacity to fill my cup,
Yeah.
to even fill a cup, let alone a pitcher. And so I just kept pouring and pouring and pouring in myself. Somewhere I had this cockamamie idea that by me giving all of myself, that somehow that would create an overflow in them. But if you're pouring into a cup that has a fucking hole in the bottom,
Yeah.
that isn't able to hold that which you are pouring into it, that's even a bigger kick in the ass. Because when you realize that the capacity to hold your level of being, of person, your depth and everything else, and you're just giving it and giving it and giving it, and it's not even able to be retained, let alone returned.
Or you're pouring coffee into a little wax cup that's going to melt.
Yeah.
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 Can't take the heat.
Can't take the heat.
Can't take the heat. And that's not like smug or, an arrogance
They
thing.
can't hold your level of warmth,
No.
your level of care.
No. And that's all part of changing. We definitely, none of us sitting here at this table or out in the universe, none of us are the same people that we were born in this world.
No.
I mean, we've grown, we've changed, our hairs change colors, our eyes change colors, everything has grown. But like we talked about, a lot of people grow externally, but not internally. And that's where the disconnect lies.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you aren't willing to change and step outside of what's familiar or comfortable, then you're always going to be living the same life over and over again. You may be in a different house, you may have a different job, you may have a different partner, you may have a different car, dog, whatever, but the saying says you can't run from your problems. And that I've learned is the honest God's truth. Not that I've ever tried to escape my problems, because I've always been the person that, okay, here's the problem, and walk head on to that son of a bitch and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, a change of scenery, a change of this, a change of that, and they think, okay, so everything's different now. There's one consistent that you're not factoring in. Yeah. If you haven't grown, if you haven't changed, I don't care if you move continents. I don't care how much money you end up possessing or things you end up owning. You're still going to have the same problems.
Because it's still you that owns it.
Yes.
It's still you that's spending the money. It's still you that's doing the things.
It's still you with the mindset. And unless you can expand that mindset, unless you can grow and change and accept whatever you've done in your past. We've all done shit in our past that we wish we wouldn't have. I'm not necessarily going to say regret, because it all, if you use it correctly, is a lesson to be learned and a step forward in growth.
Of course.
But if those are the things that you're continuously hiding from and don't want to face, I don't care if you wind up with the most beautiful woman or handsomest man with the most prestigious job and everything that you ever want in life, or you think you want in life, you won't be able to hold on to it.
No.
And it's been a realization for me because no matter how much I've loved people in my life, you can't force someone to take what it is you have to give them, no matter how beautiful it is.
No.
Either they're capable or they're not capable. So instead of worrying about whether somebody's capable, I'm worrying about being capable for myself
Yep.
and filling my own self. And eventually, if it's meant to be that person that's going to meet me where I'm at and not require me to shrink or require things from me that I don't have available, they'll show up. And if they don't, it's still going to be okay.
That's right.
I never would have given that answer last year.
No. And that's what's so cool about change
Mhm.
is that at the end of it all, it can still be okay. Everything's still going to be okay.
And you're going to be okay too.
That's right. And so are you guys.
I mean, you've had a lot going on within your own circle of the world,
Yeah, I've had a lot, a lot.
and you're
I don't know if everybody knows everything that's gone on.
probably not.
And then and I don't mind telling,
Yeah.
because I mean I think it's important that people understand that, you know, content creators don't live perfect lives.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're not huge names.
No.
We're not, popular yet. We're not famous yet. But and yes, we totally believe in manifestation.
Yeah.
But I have epilepsy. It's not figured out quite yet, but we're getting closer. I have traumatic brain, it's coming out on the tip of my tongue, traumatic brain injury. So we don't know if it's cognitive decline or if it's just a cognitive damage, but there's a lot of issues, cognitive issues, to where I cannot live alone. For the moment, I can't drive. So I don't own a vehicle. I live with my son. It's not that I can't be left alone, period. I mean, I can function, but I forget things. I forget stupid things. It's been rough. I have to have reminders for things that everyday people don't have to have reminders for. People joke about bad cooks can burn water. I literally can burn water.
But she's not a bad cook.
But I'm a fantastic cook.
She's not
That's
a
the
bad
funny
cook.
thing. I'm a fantastic cook.
She just forgets that she's cooking now.
I just forget I'm cooking. I can forget I'm cooking while I'm cooking, while I'm staring at the pot.
We're gonna get that figured out.
So we figure it out. I cook with air fryers. I cook with microwaves, or I cook with someone standing in the kitchen with me. Uh, so I make adjustments to my day. I have terrible arthritis now, so I use mobility aids, things like that. So there's a lot that has changed in my life in the last couple of years that has probably, what would you say, cut my standard of living by 20%, maybe, from what it used to be. 25%, maybe more.
A little bit more. I would say
35%,
probably closer to
35, 40%
yeah.
from what it was a couple of years ago.
I mean, and the whole I'm kind of bitter about you being across the country. But besides that, it's one thing if you had made the choice, like, oh, this is really what I want to do. I want to live with my son
Yeah.
and, in this geographical location, et cetera, et cetera. But unfortunately, it was almost you didn't have many options.
Right.
And
At the time,
yeah,
my now ex-husband and I were going through a lot. He was not the person he portrayed himself to be when we got married, and he made it very clear that he could not be the type of person to take care of someone with medical needs. He made it very clear that he did not want to be someone to take care of someone with medical needs.
I wish I would have gotten the same though. Who the need here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to make that decision, and there were no other options. So that's when I moved, and I had to make it fast. I had to make it really fast. So, and when I say fast, I mean
Weeks.
not even weeks, like less than 14 days. I had to make that decision.
Yeah.
And moving was within 30 days. It was a very fast turnaround. But who knows what the future holds? I may very well end up back in Arizona. I don't know.
But look how much you still managed to grow through all of that
Through all of that,
transition.
I make changes within myself and manage within my own limitations.
And that's all any of us can do.
So you take the cards that you're dealt,
Mhm.
and you make your own new form of hope. I know you love that.
I do.
I know you love
Right.
that.
And I'm not going to do that right now.
That's where all of my new stuff is coming from. Um, and it's really great. If before hope. That is the only teaser you guys are getting. Hush. Remember that tagline.
But it's a good one.
But it's a good one. So yeah, changes past, changes present, and changes future.
If you're not changing, if something isn't changing, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're stagnant. And
Absolutely.
if you become stagnant, you take the risk of regressing backwards into a life that you don't want for yourself.
Always learning, always evolving, always changing. Even if it's a minuscule change.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if it's just the tiniest little thing, and it doesn't even have to be noticeable to anybody but you.
right. That's all that matters is that you know. There doesn't have to be some grand announcement.
No,
It's what you feel inside because sometimes it's just small shifts inside of yourself, inside of your thinking.
it could be something as simple as saying, "You know what? I'm gonna take up reading," or something simple. I'm gonna change the way my living room's arranged because it feels good to me. Little things that nobody else knows about but you.
Right.
It just makes you feel good on the inside. Nobody says that changes have to be these life-altering, monumental things
No,
like
it's just falling into our fucking
Gina
laps.
and I do.
That's just us.
We seem to be notarized for those things. It just happens to us. But you know what?
But now life is no longer happening to us. We are participating in it.
That's the difference.
Yes.
We choose to participate in our lives. And that's the difference between when you let life happen and when you make life happen.
Because one, you're a victim. The other, you're a victor. Then,
Girl.
even if, because victory doesn't necessarily mean that you've won a prize, but in this case, it's when participation trophies actually make fucking sense.
That's right.
Because you're not allowing your mindset to go to somebody else caused this.
Right.
You're owning the shit that
I
you've
own
done.
it and I caused it.
But whether it's intentional, good, bad, whatever, it's when you're able to own your shit, see whatever outcome came from that, good, bad, or indifferent, and be like, okay, but at least I participated.
Take your participation medal in life and own that shit.
Yeah. That's the only time that participation medals are actually like a good thing.
They're a fantastic thing.
Because
Choosing to participate in your own life, forcefully choosing life, choosing to live, choosing to win at life, small wins, big wins, and everything in between is freaking amazing.
I'll say it for
It's fucking amazing.
She did it.
I'm sorry, I'm used to TikTok, y'all.
Yeah.
Having to censor myself. Y'all know how it goes. But we've rated this over 18, so it's safe here. It's fucking amazing.
It is.
But just take life by the horns, no matter what your
Or the
situation is, or the balls, or whatever other body part of said ball.
Well, I'm not going there.
The tits. That's her favorite part. I
Yeah.
don't know, but yeah,
Get us in the same room.
get us in the
What
same room,
happened?
and this is what happens.
Okay.
Y'all asked for it. So anyway, on that note, change.
Welcome it, embrace it. It's not always a derogatory thing, even though it may start out that way,
It's not going to be comfortable.
No.
It's not supposed to be.
but it doesn't last forever.
And on the other side of it is this happiness.
Yeah.
And contentment and
Peace.
amazing, wonderful things and peace.
Yeah. Being able to close your eyes at night and exhale.
Yep. 110. So from me and from Gina, thank you so much for joining us today. We love you.
We love you.
And we're so glad you joined us while we're here together. And we will be together again soon. It may take us a minute to be in the same room again, but we will. And we love you both. Love you.
Be easy.
See you again next time.